The UN envoy to Yemen, Hans Granberg, warned that resumption of war remains a threat in Yemen. This came during the meetings with the Egyptian officials in Cairo yesterday. The following report has more.
Yemen's top United Nations official cautioned on Monday that unless warring groups negotiate an updated ceasefire agreement, the Arab world's poorest country would remain a conflict zone. The United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Granberg, told the Associated Press that the situation in Yemen is precarious almost a year after the Yemeni government and the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels failed to renew a United Nations brokered ceasefire. Since then, there have only been periodic clashes, but Granberg warned that an all-out war may resume at any time. According to the United Nations envoy, the risk of a flare-up is always there, and the situation remains fragile and will remain fragile until the parties have reached an agreement that offers a ceasefire deal. The termination of the ceasefire agreement was a setback for UN attempts to reach a diplomatic conclusion to the conflict, which ravaged the country and caused one of the world's greatest humanitarian crises. Granberg noted that Yemen's warring parties have each participated in peace efforts in recent months after meeting with Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry in Cairo. But he said that more effort is required to establish a firm nationwide ceasefire and reopen political negotiations to end the conflict. The envoy praised regional and global initiatives to put an end to the fighting, including direct talks between Saudi Arabia and the Houthis. Such initiatives would help the United Nations develop a proposal for a general ceasefire and the beginning of political negotiations between Yemeni groups to end the war. The Saudi-Houthi discussions gathered traction after Saudi Arabia signed a deal with Iran in March to re-establish diplomatic ties after a 7-year schism. According to Saudi and Houthi sources, the two parties signed a drafting agreement to restore a ceasefire and usher in a return to direct Yemeni political discussions under the auspices of the United Nations. Yemen's government stated earlier this year that it had been briefed on the Saudi-Houthi discussions and had granted preliminary assent to a previous draft agreement. According to Yemeni officials, progress has been halted by several disagreements, including on the payment of wages for military troops and residents in Houthi-held